You're here on this course because you want to improve your sex life by overcoming anxiety about performance in your sex life. And so to begin doing that, I want you to start to become aware of where this was caused in some way. Because for most people anyway, or everybody, they were never born this way, or you were never born this way. Something in your past has made you feel this way, to have performance anxiety around sex. Now that could be around sexual arousal, premature ejaculation, or even guilt about sex because of some past experience. Now while I'm mentioning these things, some ideas or memories perhaps are popping to mind. However, remember that to have sexual arousal, a lot of this begins in the imagination anyway. It could be something you're watching on the TV, or so you may see a girl and something may pop to mind that you start to think about her in some way. And even though the thought may just drift out of your conscious mind, unconsciously later on you might find yourself getting aroused. Or by the other token, that fear can cause you to be less aroused. So I'm sure you've found times that when if you felt fear, but perhaps you needed to go to the toilet, and you were going to the toilet and you thought, my penis has got very small. And it's because you felt fearful in some way that it started to get smaller. So this obviously is not going to help you in any way of being aroused or having better performance sexually. And then there's other things like people drink too much and things like that. Well, we cannot work with that here. That's kind of obvious that you shouldn't drink too much or take drugs or whatever. That these things, you may think they enhance things, but work the opposite way for you. But here what we're working on is emotional issues that contribute to the cause of this happening for you. So something in your life has caused this to happen. It could have been from your childhood, teen years, adult years. Some experience has caused this to happen. I found this with clients that come through the door and say, I have this problem, and when I talk in this way, they say, oh, well, there was this time when this happened or this happened. And as we start to work through this, there's more starts to come up. I'm sure that there's times you say, well, I'm going out with my girlfriend or whoever I'm going out with, I'm going to feel this way. So this anticipation causes this fear of non-arousal, so everything gets smaller than it should be, or just doesn't react the way you want it to react. So what I want here for you is to start to think about earlier times. That's times when you had this sexual performance anxiety, or just things didn't work the way you wanted. Now whatever memory pops to mind is perfect. That's our starting point. And so with our starting point, even if it was yesterday, last week, last month, last year, whatever memory pops to mind, that's our starting point. And it's by working on this that we will get through the layers possibly to the first beginning point. And if the first beginning experience has popped to mind, that's perfect. So we're going to work through this, whatever memory pops to mind, when you think about having sexual performance anxiety and your body not working the way you want it to work, and of course your imagination not working the way you want it to work because it's working in a negative way. That's where fears come from, and that's where the word fear breaks down very perfectly into fitting into how it affects us. F for false, E for evidence, A for appearing, and R for real. False evidence appearing real. And that's what it is. Your expectation of something terrible going to happen or something not going to happen. So that's what happens here when you think about having sex with someone, making love to someone, and your body just will not perform the way you want it to perform. And this is not what we want for you. What I want for you is that you just go and enjoy yourself. It's not about thinking how you're going to perform. It's just being there with the person you love or the person you want to be with to have a good sex life. and just to be there and enjoy each other's bodies. Okay, so by you thinking about now, just think to yourself about sexual performance anxiety. And whatever that means for you, what happens for you. If it's a feeling, a nervous feeling inside, that's perfect, we work with that. And if it's a memory, obviously you're here because something has happened in the past. So just whatever memory pops to mind, we'll work with that. And if there's a feeling attached to that, even better. That we're working on two levels, on the thought and the feeling. And it's the feeling that holds you back, because it's the feeling in your body that contributes to everything else not working the way it should do. Okay. Now, even though you have these fears, I'd like to let you know about fear as well. You were only born with 2 fears. The rest were learned. So it's working on where you learned this. And when you work on where you learn this, big changes begin to happen. So, as you think about that now, that time that you feel this performance anxiety in the past, I want you to measure on a scale of 0 to 10 how bad it makes you feel. And simple. It's not going to be a good number, but go with the number you're given. And then we're going to begin to do a round of EFT, just on that number first.